Shut up. Mute.
Yep. We are live. We are live, gentlemen.
Hola.
All right, welcome to the W.F.C podcast number 12. Number 12. So get your get
spit it out.
So the stupid podcast with the other side. Anyways, so everybody get your engine started because we're about to jump into FORZA Motorsport 7, and that's it. So there ain't gonna be nothing else. So we're missing the W of the WFC right now. I don't know what happened. Oh wait, maybe you did jump in.
I think you just logged in.
Okay.
Witty, you there?
Yo.
Witty, you.
There he is.
What's going on?
Guess what? That's some weird fucking ass starting the show without me.
The Google Hangouts has been acting weird, so we were hoping you'd pop in whenever, as soon as you can.
My week to get the delay.
Yeah, and then of course got myself Fastback, and we got old Mr. C of the WFC, Mr. Coop. What's up, Mr. SuPRcooPR?
What's going on?
And then of course we got the one and only, the Crazy Juan from OGNOG. What's going on, Crazy? Mr. Juan?
Another day in paradise. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're definitely.
How are you?
We're looking forward to get you on, so appreciate it. Especially for Forza 7 podcast. So
I am a big fan. I am a well-known big fan.
Yeah, definitely we all are. So, and you definitely have a lot of experience, and I know you put a lot of hours and time in Forza, so definitely want to get your expertise on this. And I think we all know what we're playing, so I don't think we need to jump in and what we're playing. So
we're all playing Cuphead too, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I played some.
I tell you what, I clap my hands to that studio and Xbox for putting that game to us. I thank them, and I want to say fuck you because that game is beautiful and hard as shit. So I've been loving it.
It's fantastic.
Great.
Studio MDHR just killed it. Killed it.
Did.
Every detail, every little piece of it just oozes the love that they sunk into that game.
Yeah,
it's a masterpiece. Beautiful.
Yeah, because yesterday I was waiting for Forza 7 to download, and so I was playing Cuphead and just trying to get past a couple bosses, and I was sitting there cussing.
Oh yeah.
And Woody and Coop were hearing me cuss the whole time. So
I call it Cuphead Tourette syndrome. It comes on when you're playing that game. I had a half hour to kill, so I hopped in and I was working through one of the running gun stages. And like twice, I got to where I had just killed, like there's a mini boss at the end. I had just killed him, and he's like spinning through this death animation, and I died right then. Like that was it. Like I had to survive for like 0.5 seconds longer. And but yeah, but I wasn't mad at the game. And like I kept coming at it. I didn't walk away from the game mad, and then I did it and felt like Captain Badass. So. Yeah, no, it's great.
That in money games, killed me.
We're gonna have to get Woody that game.
Yeah, Witty.
Alpha, because we can gift it.
Yeah, you've been so many giveaways on Twitter about that for that game.
I'm surprised you didn't win it. Yeah.
Every YouTuber is doing videos on it too.
Yeah.
I just saw Red Letter Media, who I really like, just did their 2-hour live stream marathon on it, and we put out like their thoughts on it afterwards. So I need to tune into that.
Nice. Angry Joe gave it a 10 out of 10.
He liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was a good review.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny watching him scream at Joe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You gotta be honest.
Yeah.
It made me feel better about my gameplay now.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
The Daz even did a giveaway.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes,
been a lot of Console Corner had one, and
well, you're talking about a $20 game, which is another great aspect of it because it's so good. It's $20. Can't go wrong.
Nope. It's been a good week in gaming, and it's about to get better here the rest of this month, especially at the end. So
I just saw that the Kind of Funny guys did it. Did a thing on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're so Sony.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
wrong,
but I mean,
you know? That'd be like, I don't know. That'd be like, forget it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Say even Angry Joe has been classed as a PlayStation fanboy.
He's more of a
Oh,
PC
that's
guy.
Yeah, he's more PC, but
PC
he
and/or
will hold a
shooter.
grudge if he's not happy with you. But he's cool. I like his stuff.
Sometimes I think the rage thing's a bit manufactured. He lost me a little bit when he pretended to not know on a live stream that Halo 5 wasn't split screen.
Oh
So
yeah.
he found out, like, he's on a live stream and he found out. We've all known for months because it was all over the internet and everything. But
Yeah.
Angry Joe doesn't know that? I mean, come on.
But
But I
speaking of,
get it. He's making a show.
yeah, and speaking of that, games like Halo, and of course we're gonna be talking about Forza. One of those jump over to that. Those games seem to piss people off, right? Very, whether you're a Forza, gamer or not. It seems like lately those games seem to trigger media and fanboys or people that don't know. So, but anyways, before we jump into all that, I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Mr. UK Dazarus, our Mr. Moderator of the Year. Maybe we can get him to moderate for NOG one day and keep the barrel roll out of here.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out. He's Mr. Podcast now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daz, hit up in chat. Let us know when you're what's your podcast and stuff. And
yeah, put your link in
I didn't even
chat.
know it was on, man. I just found out. So.
Him and SuPRcooPR.
Nice.
That was funny yesterday. And what was funny yesterday that I jumped in there, Witty, I saw his tweet. And so I jumped in the podcast, and then I saw Witty was a moderator, and I'm like, oh shit. And then next thing I know, I was a moderator.
Nice.
The mod squad.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know what a moderator, so that's about as observant as I am.
You get to kick everybody out. Ban them.
I see the dude in the chat. Hello, dude.
Yeah, the dude, Siberia.
Cyber.
Yeah. Yep. Appreciate all you guys. So let's go ahead and jump on Mr. Forza. And we'll start with you, Crazy. So what's Forza been for you? When did you jump on Forza? Did you jump on it in the first one?
Yeah, when the first Forza came out, I was unemployed. Was that 2002? It was 2003 or 4. So I was unemployed, and I had a lot of time to kill because you can only look for jobs, so much in a 24-hour period. So I ended up getting a rental disc of Forza and vegging out on it and getting it back every time I could. But yeah, no, I fell in love with Forza. I mean, my love of driving games goes way back. I mean, and I was a Gran Turismo fan on my PlayStation, my roomie's PlayStation 2, Ridge Racer. I love all the stuff. But there was something about the Forza game that really hooked me, and it was the tuning and the multiplayer and the for its day, really accurate physics.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a total sim, but given what it was and the year and all that, So yeah, I've been Forza since day one, and I've played through the campaigns on all of them, and including the standalone, the Fast and the Furious, and all the Horizons and all that, and I love it. Back a couple of years ago, when I was still able to do my hobby racing in real life. Through the Sports Car Club of America. And during the off season in the wintertime, we would put together private Forza lobbies and run a series of like a championship series for points. So you'd have qualifying, we'd meet up and do hot laps to learn the track, and we'd qualify and pick however many laps it would take to do a half hour and run a race for a half hour and see who won, and points go the next week. And it was fantastic. You can't beat it.
Nice. Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I've always been interested in that. I never jumped into it when I had my Mustangs, but and that's another thing too. You're a Mustang guy, so I'm definitely glad to have you on. I think you're the third Mustang guy I've had on. So,
well, they've been around for a number of years to have a fan base uninterrupted, like some of the other competition of theirs.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when I jumped on when the first Forza was out. I was kind of skeptical at first. I didn't really, because I was still on the PS2, and I was still playing Gran Turismo, and I played the shit out of 1 and 2. And of course, when I jumped over to the Xbox, it was for Halo.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I started looking at the other games, I said, let me check out this Forza. And I didn't see what it was about. Kind of checked it out. I think I started playing it right before the second one came out. And so yeah, when I was checking it out, I definitely liked some of the features that was in it, because they didn't have, some of the modding, like you said, the tuning and stuff. They didn't have that in Gran Turismo, so it was kind of fresh. And then ever since then, I just stuck with it. I played 2 and 3. 3 is probably the only one that I did fully complete. And then I will admit, I kind of, when I got 4, and I bought the special edition for 4, and I kind of got bored. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just a layout or whatever. And I skipped. And then of course Horizon came out, so I jumped on that, and so I kind of skipped 5 and 6 Forza Motorsport. But definitely 7 is the one that I'm back in for 7. So
it's definitely worth coming back for.
Hell yeah, I agree.
Going back, another thing that really kind of made me dig the Forza series when it started was it was the first of the console racing games to really, I think, put a lot of effort into making the cars sound like they sounded.
Yeah.
And that's something they've done really well for a long time. The sound design in Forza is killer, and Forza 7 it's taking it to new levels with extra creaks and sounds of the things vibrating and your suspension working over a curb and things like that. But back then, it's funny because I'll put in an old disc. I'll put in like a Project Gotham or a Sega GT 2002 on the other side of my Jet Set radio disc, and they all sound like Hoovers. They all sound vacuum cleaners, and you get the same thing from the old school Turismos too. Their work with that has gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
but the sound has always been a hallmark of Forza, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Forza has gone above and beyond. Ever since the first one came out, they kept improving. So, and I mean that's why we're here. It has a following. So,
have any of you seen the videos out there of how they record the automobiles?
No.
The audio. Yeah, it's out there on YouTube to be found. But I think the last time they did it was for maybe 4 or 5. But basically they set up a little sound studio and they mic the hell out of this car with all kinds of different, like a mic at the engine intake, a mic at the exhaust, a mic at this, and they run it on a dyno, and they run it through the a couple pulls on the dyno to get all the whole RPM sound, and they pull sounds from the actual cars that way.
Yeah, I remember seeing that a while back.
Which has got to drive your costs up because when you look at that car list, if they're getting the actual cars for the sound, they're spending some money.
Now they added the Porsche. So.
Yep.
You, Coop? What's Forza been for you?
Well, I actually did get the first. I'll be honest. When the first Forza came out, I wasn't a big fan. I actually thought it was too arcadey. I don't know. I guess I was just. I mean, I loved Gran Turismo. I was a huge. Yeah. I probably played Gran Turismo. More than any other game I've ever played. The series, and so when Forza first came out, it felt arcadey to me, and I did like some of the. I don't know. It didn't grab me right off the bat. I had the first Forza. What's that?
That's probably because you're driving automatic. Anything's got to seem, arcade if you're driving in automatic.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I've always drove. I never did get into shift and never had a wheel or anything like that.
Oh, I was same until about 2-3 years ago. And then Forza changed my life. I never looked back.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so many, you know, I mean, back then, like, you know, Repro just brought up Project Gotham. I mean, man, there was a, you know, that was when Need for Speed was, some of those games were still good. The Burnout stuff. Just seemed like there was a lot more options. So yeah, I didn't really, Forza 4 was amazing. That game I played a lot. I skipped 5. I didn't have, you know, I was late into Xbox One. And so basically Forza 6 came out right about when I got my, just shortly after I got my Xbox One. So it wasn't, you know, a whole lot of need, you know, to get into 5 because 6 had just come out. So, and then, you know, 6, I didn't play a whole lot of 6, I guess because, you know, at that point, I was playing more the Horizon 2 and then the Horizon 3. Obviously, you know, played tons of that. And, but man, getting into 7 has really, it's way more challenging. I mean, Forza Horizon series is so much more forgiving as far as the driving goes.
Yep.
I mean, man, this is definitely a skill game. You definitely feel the sim. Somebody just brought up, I think SuPrcooPR just brought up that the cars, they feel heavy. There's like a weight to them. There's,
yep.
I mean, just everything about it. Like, you know, when you got to be careful. You can't go into, you know, smashing through corners and just sideways through everything, tapping walls and stuff. You can't get away with that.
It's so grounded. And that's different. Sure.
Yeah, you hit upon something I said about it because I had done a fair amount of Forza 3, Horizon 3 things through the Next Level Gaming YouTube there, and then you go from that to Motorsport 7, and you really get a feeling for how much Horizon was letting you get away with.
Oh, big time, yeah.
You know, and Forza 7's like, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
No.
Get back. Oh yeah, it's humbling because I've put some pretty good times in Horizon. Man, I get back into this one, it's like, wow. The way, like, you know, and the difference between, like Witty was just saying, doing a manual shift and doing automatic. I can't even touch, like we were doing Rivals last night, and I just, for some reason, it's just hard for me to get into doing the shifting. It's just something I haven't done. So it's like another series, and I always forget to shift. I try, you know, ended up losing, and I don't know. It just takes. I'm just not that good at it, and so I end up
using
losing
the clutch.
time. No, just doing actually, I'm just doing automatic right now. I tried going to just doing the shifting period, not with the clutch, and man, it just makes it very difficult. I keep missing shifts or forgetting to downshift or what, you know, just. It's
Are you using a wheel or a controller?
Just a controller. I've tried the Elite. I haven't tried it mapping to the little triggers and doing other stuff like that. But and driving an automatic, you can't touch. I mean, you cannot even. I mean, I had one lap last night. I think it was at Laguna, where I had like 3 perfect turns. I mean, one of my best laps. I mean, this is after like 9-10 laps going around trying to beat my second rival, right? Mm-hmm. I had just perfect. I mean, it was like perfect through the corkscrew. Perfect around the last corner, coming out. I mean, I could not have done a better lap, but it was an automatic, and I was 2 seconds off. I was blown away. I was like, "There's no way!" Like, because when you come out of those corners, you're in the wrong gear. You're stuck in third, you know, at low RPMs, and you're just kind of bogging out of the corner, and there's no way to downshift. You know, it's just it's amazing how much you know how the difference there. Because in Horizon, you can get away with that kind of stuff, and I never noticed that big of a difference with it.
It's also hurting you on your braking.
It's what?
Yeah,
it's also hurting you on your braking.
So I kind of tried explaining it earlier. It's not just, well, the way I'd explain it with manual is you can, when you're in auto, it changes your gear way too early. You know,
it does, and it takes forever to do it.
Red zone, whereas really you want to be going as far into red zone before it starts doing its fucking stuttering and maxing out, and you want to be
right
before that's when you want to be like changing gear, and then you're like squeezing more power out of each gear so you're going faster basically.
Yeah. Also, if you're gonna do manual, it pays to use the clutch. It pays to learn how to do that, because then you can clutch in, shift, and the RPMs don't drop as far. So when you engage the clutch again and you are grabbing the gear, you're in the power band still. You're not coming up through the bottom of the power band.
God knows.
Right.
That's probably why you're going like 2 seconds a lot better than me.
It makes a pretty big difference.
Me.
See, and that's just another button press to get used to.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to because on the default mapping, it's the bumper, so it's tough to brake and clutch at the same time. But with the Elite, if I'm getting serious about it and I bust out the Elite, then my clutch will be on the paddle, left paddle, so I can paddle in the clutch and squeeze the trigger at the same time while doing the thumb over here for the gears.
So you do you just do the standard setting for the gears.
Yep, keep the gears on the buttons, and keep the gears on the buttons because I don't need my thumb for looking or anything like that. And then just move the shift the clutch from the not even move it, but just assign the paddle to the right bumper so that I can use one of my middle finger or something to use the paddle while using my index finger to brake at the same time. It took a little bit. I wasn't faster with it at first. It took a long time to get the muscle memory changed, and I was squeezing both too hard, and so I'd be locking up the brakes because I don't run anti-lock most times. But eventually, I learned how to squeeze the paddle and then modulate the brake without, locking it down.
Nice. Yeah, that's the other thing I love about that Elite. I mean, you really have to be, like you say, you can't just like full on trigger, full off. I love how I can just adjust, just barely kind of tap and feather the brakes and, feathering the throttle. There was one I was driving one of those rival challenges last night. I'm driving an old like 69 Nova. And there was this big, it's at the Maple Valley, I think, and there was a big sweeper as you come around towards the finish line. And you could just feather it as you come around. Just, oh man, it was so much fun. Just absolutely love that. That game is so good. Gosh,
great course.
So good.
Yeah, I read someone who was reviewing the game was talking about that course and the last turn downhill, to the finish. And it's I agree with what they say. Where when you nail that, it feels like you just bowled a strike. Like it's it's so good. But you were doing my man Stick's rival challenge. I'm hoping to put a time in that this weekend before it goes to Monday.
Number one spot gone then, isn't it?
We'll see. The driving is as good as it's ever been in Forza.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. The whole everything. I mean, everything. The new cockpit. I love the new cockpit view. The one just over the steering wheel. I love that perspective. I think that was a good addition. Even the third. I was doing the chase cam last night. And you can see, I don't remember what I was driving, but you can see the exhaust pipes. It has like the exhaust pipes that kind of come out of the trunk, it looks like, and you can see them shaking. Like as you're revving up at the start line, the exhaust pipes are shaking in there. It's like, what?
Like they should be, yep.
Yeah, every detail is amazing.
It's a masterpiece. It's really good. One of my another favorite addition of mine this time around is the ability to lengthen your career mode races. That's something I've been wanting for a while because as what I am with the game, I like to run the pro difficulty setting for the drivatars because it cleans up their act a little bit and it gives me a challenge and it's not impossible. Like I can beat the unbeatables, the next level up. I can beat the unbeatable, but it's often more work than I want to put into it. So. So I put myself at the pro, feel a decent challenge most of the time, and win. I'm happy with that. But
I just learned you could change difficulty up.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Well, I put it to that 40% one. And I could probably go like fucking easily. Well, maybe one or two more.
Yeah, pro is pretty quick.
I'll get to a point where I'm going to have to knock it down for some races and some cars.
Yeah, some of the drivatars are no joke, man. It gets annoying because they hold such a perfect line, and some of those narrow tracks, I was having a hard time just trying to get around because
I got in a right cram jam just before we went live, man. I was in one of them trophy truck races. I'm telling you, they all just come to a standstill in this car now. So like, fuck that, rewinded and straight down.
I wonder once more people are playing. and they get more data that the driver cars are going to, change the way they drive. I mean,
yeah,
right? Because I mean, right now they're just all set to a set standard, I guess.
right. It's just like a line around the track. Yeah,
I've always think that driver tar fucking thing will probably just all smoke and mirrors.
No.
Something that can hardly be proved anyway. Because it's like I was racing a race earlier, right? And it kept saying you were at back one. Whereas then after the race, and I went into the leaderboard, you're number one every time.
Oh yeah, yeah. The way it is they'll pull from your list, and they'll have a set they'll have a set grid, right? And the driver tires at the back are going to have a skill cap put on them. So if I'm back there, it's going to use whatever percentage of me until I hit that cap. But if the random draw for who of your friends are put up, if I'm on the first, it's going to use more of me if I'm up at the front of the pack. So you'll see that. I see all kinds of fast guys, back in the pack just because they're friends of mine. The thing with the long races that's awesome about it, though, is with the higher difficulty of drivatars and having more laps, I don't have to feel like I need to pass 6 cars in that first lap. I don't have to push.
That's something I saw earlier, that where in settings you can go to long or extra long or whatever. I thought that was nice as well.
You make more money per race that way. It's longer time spent, obviously, but you make more money. And I tell you, the first couple times I did it, and it was like there's the short VIR track is a real roller coaster, and it's a tight place to pass. There's not a lot of great passing opportunities there, and you start in 12th with 13 laps. And when I passed the leader on the 12th lap with a lap and a half to go, passing for the win. That was amazing. It took me, that many laps to move through the field. It was super tense. It was just so good.
I don't know if I've got patience for them longer races.
I like them sometimes too. Like you say, it's you can kind of pick your way through instead of just trying to smash your way through on the first corner.
Yeah, with the way the drive tires are, especially they still have a slight tendency for the first guy just to go, just to check out on the whole field. And so if you're mired at 8th, 9th, and you're not making hay early, you won't be able to make it that difficult. That difference before the race is over on a short race. But the long races are twice as long or more, and there's all kinds of time to just drive clean and do racing as opposed to gaming the race. So I've done all of my career races in long so far.
Wow, there's always that one section on a fucking race where you can pull back a shit ton of time in like one corner, even if you've got to ram them to get past.
Right.
Yeah, most tracks have a spot where the drivatars are just not taking the most aggressive line through, and you can get a pass there or close on a leader or something. Like I'm thinking about Laguna Seca and the turn onto the Rahal stretch going up the hill. But that left going up the hill, I kill AI there.
Absolutely, that is a dead spot for him for some reason.
But that's half the battle.
You can always just fly round corkscrew and cut that fucking corner off.
Not if you're doing a rival and you don't want to get the check
right. You don't want to get invalidated.
Invalidated, yeah.
I'm telling you, I've seen some people who've gone about 2 seconds quicker than you one, but they've all been dirty races, so I think they've been cutting corners.
Yeah, probably.
Which fair enough if they want to, but they've never got to get clean lap header, and I think that's a good thing. It puts
I'm all about that.
Behind your time. So on a lot of them, I've been in second place behind you for most of them, which I'll settle for that. Everyone else wants to do it dirty. I'll take a slower lap, but cleaner.
Yeah,
I mean it's a variable thing for me because, like I said, I'm doing these long races, right? So if I'm a lap, 2 laps into one of these long races, and I just bone it, if I just F the dog on it and blow a breaking point and just ram somebody ridiculously, then I'll quit and start over because I want to run a clean race. But if I'm 11 laps into a 12 lap race and I'm dipping a wheel and I clip a guy just a little bit, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't run rewind, so no.
Yeah, definitely recommend everybody to try those rivals. I know when I entered in your challenge on Horizon 3, and definitely, the more you do it, it definitely makes you a better racer because because I had to try to get past Madzu, I think first, and then I was trying to get past HEK, and I just couldn't get past him. And I think you were, they had the top time, and but I was so close,
There's a glitched achievement as well at minute, although it wasn't working for me earlier.
Maybe they patched it.
Because
they might have.
No, I changed one at settings earlier to try to go better on rivals, and it didn't. I turned stability control off and finish it and beat my rival, and it didn't give me a percentage. So I'm hoping when I went back and turned that off again, or on again, whichever one I did. It's well, I've still to try it. Hopefully I can get my achievement out there, because I'll take that glitched achievement easily. Because there's no way I'm beating
like
rivals
without
beating any assists normally anyway.
Well, my man had it right. Rivals is how to get fast at Forza.
Yeah.
It's the best way to
improve.
It's a good way to learn the tracks too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic way to, because it's just you don't have to worry about the drivatars. You're just going in, and just getting those corners down, getting every line down, like you say, the breaking points, and just you kind of get to know the ins and out of all those tracks. I like it. Those are very fun.
Yep. To go like half a second quicker earlier. I didn't think it was possible for me to go that much quicker, but
yeah.
Got
and actually, the payout on those isn't bad either. A couple of races, I got almost to 10,000 credits. The longer you go, the more you get. So the payouts on that were pretty good.
Yeah, with the if you can give yourself a rabbit to chase, if they've got the ghost enabled, then you can see, okay, that's where I'm not getting the most out of this corner, or that's where he's beating me off of this corner, or whatever, and you can learn and improve and get faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you mess up, if you're on in it at the beginning, you can rewind it to just before the line, and then try again.
Yeah.
So we go around again.
So Witty, how far back did you for Forza for you? Did you jump on the first one?
No, I never had a OG Xbox, did I? So I never played first. First one I played was second, but I think I only played like a couple of races. I don't know why I stopped playing it. I don't know, I just wasn't gaming much back then. But from what I remember, it had like good customization. I was impressed by that and that lot. And driving didn't seem too bad, although that were back when I was an automatic driver. And then it wasn't till I think 2011 or something like that I played Forza 3, and that were the start of me driving how I do now, like in cockpit cam and manual gears, So yeah, it's like definitely Forza has like changed my whole perspective on driving in games for the good. And
and then they added the other Horizons too. So
a load of other games, like I'd never even like attempt to fucking like play a game like Dirt or something like that in a way manual gears. It's like fuck that. Like too tight, and you just got to worry about that too much. So it's like in a game like that, fuck that. But in Forza, you can't really go wrong, can you? In Horizon, it can be a bit dodgy because you've got off-road and this and other.
Yeah.
You can't see what's going on, and you miss all them checkpoints, and it's a pain in fucking ass.
So
I haven't played that one yet. Do they have the guy calling out the rally instruction?
Yeah, you've got that. You can turn it off, but
or they disappear.
Keeping it on, because with that you don't have a mini map. You've just got that like section bar, like all rally games of like so you definitely best keeping like co-driving on for that for Dirt.
Yep, I used to love a game called Rally Trophy, and it had the co-driver, and I always loved the right 5-1 or right 1 into left 5 and jump.
Just don't pick that American woman like me because she were cheaper. stick with Nikki Grist, your default one, because that American bird, she's fucking annoying as fuck. Even if she does say "jump baby" a lot.
Nice. Things that I'm kind of excited about with the Forza 7 here is there are things that have yet to be implemented, like the Forzathon.
Yeah.
The Forzathon I thought was a great thing in Horizon.
I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of stuff I wish that they would port over. Witty and I were just talking about this. It's something as simple as a license plate.
Yeah, license and a horn. I want a fucking
horn.
Right.
I want to drive past you, come up behind you, and go beep beep.
I'm trying to think if that stick is used for anything, because it was a stick, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think you tap the joystick.
No, that's too much weight, sir. Can't have one.
Right. The first thing I did was went to like controller settings to see if they were on, and it says like there's nothing there, but it even says on one that sticks like no button, no function or whatever it says. So like, why couldn't you just have fucking added an on?
It's a pretty good question.
If it's got to do all it, you might as well at least make it do something. Can't be that hard to add an on, can it?
No.
I'm a little curious to see what they would do for Forzathon in Motorsport series, because in Horizon it's go here and do a drift challenge, or go here and do the jump, or hit this speed trap. I'm interested to see what they do.
A certain car. I mean, there's
certain tracks.
Yeah.
I wonder if they won't take advantage of any of the special event type races, like the one where you're, like multi-class stuff, or the one where you're in a Mazda and you're racing all the older Mazdas and they get a huge head start.
Yeah. Those are fun.
They'll probably make you do some rivals and God knows. Hopefully they have a good mix of like challenges to do.
Do any of you have any of the bounty hunting cars?
The bounty hunting cars? No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
There's a turn 10 dev that I follow, and so he's in my friends list and rivals boards and all that. And every iteration since 4, they've had if you watch their Twitter and forums and such, they'll announce it. But he does a bounty hunter challenge. They'll have
I remember that. Yeah.
Like one of them I won. I didn't win the one at Brands Hatch. I didn't get him, but I did get him at Road America in the Racing Viper, the Viper LM car, and won a Corvette C7R racer with a special bounty hunter paint job on it. And that's the only way you can get that car. So
nice.
Looking forward to seeing some of that.
I remember that. Yeah.
He makes it hard.
Yeah, because I used to run, be on the forums all the time back in the day, and I remember reading those, when you started that up. So
I'm not allowed on the forums.
I wonder why, sir. I wonder why.
I had some opinions back in the day that weren't popular. So
yeah. Well, people are definitely particular on they don't seem to like a lot of change or certain things.
No, that's right. Listen, I love Forza, and the Forza community is generally okay, but sometimes they can be some whiny dudes.
And and maybe we should jump into with the Forza 7 recently. I know you and Coop had the VIP editions, right? So
yeah.
You want to expand on that? How that started?
You can go first, Coop.
Yeah, cool.
Well, well, full disclosure, I only paid $40 for the Ultimate Edition.
You don't count them.
So
No.
Yeah, I got it. So, but having also done the same thing with Forza Horizon 3, and Forza Motorsport 6, having that VIP, the same thing, having the VIP, you just always, when you get a wheel spin or you get, you level up, you always got that double, that double credit, boom, that VIP bonus. I mean, it was just like, and then to see in this, my initial kind of shock of like, wait, it's a card now? I got 25 uses? That was, that seemed like a bit of a slap in the face it was just, I mean, no disclosure, nothing that was a shocker to install the game, jump in, and then see that the VIP was relegated to a limited use, card thing. It was like, wow. And then, things aren't, and I think Sopsky just mentioned too, stuff isn't unlocked still in the game. And when it first opened up, I mean, the auction house and, like you say, the Forzathon stuff and some of that stuff, I haven't got my car pass. I haven't gotten any car pass cars yet. I did get the Fast and Furious thing. And, anyways, you get the Ultimate Edition. You kind of expect all this bells and whistles to come in. And it was just a little bit of a disappointment coming in at the beginning there, which, got to give it to them though. Last night they announced, they gave us, I mean, bam, I had 1 million credits. I had 5 new cars, some sweet cars too. So really nice cars.
Those FORZA edition cars even come with special effects.
Exactly. Yeah. Bonuses on certain tracks or, 30%, and then they'll make, I mean, that was really my biggest, I don't know if I want to say a gripe, because at the same time, here I am maybe 20 hours into the game. I've already got well over 100 cars. Now, and I've bought a bunch of cars and I still have, well, thanks to their 1 million credits last night or whatever. I probably have 1.5 million credits and I've gotten a ton of cars for free. The progression I barely even used any of the mods and I think Juan, you'll get into it a little more about the mod difference, but they're generous with the mods. I mean, I think, having the, they gave us like, I want to say it was about 20 of those crates or so. I think I had 14 of the standard ones and then 2 or 3 of the bigger, whatever legendary crates or whatever whatever they are.
Yeah, and that came with your tier level too. Like I got, I think 10 crates for being tier 11.
Yeah. And I think I got about 14 of those. And then, and then there was, I think I almost got almost 200,000 credits off the tier, and so I mean that part was pretty. I wasn't, even though I was a little bit, felt, kind of taken aback not seeing seeing that limited use VIP thing. I have not had any problems as far as progression. I've just been doing the, I haven't been grinding out races to get. I've enjoyed every single race I've done. Doing the rivals, I was getting 8,000 to 10,000 credits each time I was doing the rival thing. Even through that, you're still getting XP, or so you're still progressing and getting, free cars out of those too. I've had no issues. I mean, yeah, it's fantastic. I am absolutely, I'm just loving the visuals, the dynamic weather. Oh my gosh, when the race in the beginning when you're doing like the little showcase tutorial races with that Nismo. And the weather changes, goes from like the storm, the storm comes in, you hear the thunder hitting, and oh my gosh, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. The visuals, the controls, like you say, the sound is amazing. I love, that was my one complaint. As I love Forza Horizon 3 is just masterpiece. Love the visuals, but my one complaint about that was that the cars all kind of sounded the same. I didn't think they did as good a job with the car sounds in that game as they've done in this one. Like an old classic V8 shouldn't sound like a turbo, a late model turbo or something. I mean, some of the car sounds in Forza Horizon 3 kind of missed the point, in my opinion. I didn't think, they kind of, but this one, it's like you can hear the distinct, when you're driving that old classic V8, you hear the difference between driving a NSX or something, it's very audible difference, and I really think they have gone the extra step. This is definitely more of a purist, motorist kind of sim kind of racer. I mean, it's definitely just it's amazing. Love it.
Yeah, totally agree. When it comes to the VIP thing, even I was not thrilled. I was, I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, there it is, because I think. There's a lot of people want to assign like malice to it, or they lied, or they're trying to trick people. I think really they just changed how the mods worked and figured that was the easiest way to work in the VIP bonus. Yeah, was just assigned to the card.
Yeah, because like you were saying earlier, they're going to be generous with the mods later on, and more so than they have been in the past.
Yeah, and
even 6. So
they could have made it a card that doesn't expire.
Right.
And that would have pretty much
a mod slot. Yeah.
Right. That would have pretty much gotten rid of all the anguish, I think. I think that, but the real problem was they didn't talk about it beforehand. Had they had they put out what it was about, maybe they would have lost some VIP purchases or whatever. But that's where they stepped wrong. As far as the you see a lot of people saying, these loot boxes are bad. I think a lot of it's just people are just triggering on the fact that they're loot boxes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to me because we've had these for a while. Like in Forza 6, we had the card packs, and they're not that different from mod packs, other than the fact that I like the new mods better because they're not performance boosts to the car.
Right.
So I feel like I'm staying within the class, I'm winning on my skill, and you avoid any pay-to-win situations when you're not boosting the car with mods. If you're doing multiplayer and you're allowing it. But so they improved the mods, and they changed it from a card pack to a box, and everybody freaks out. And immediately people say, make the assumption that they're nerfing the progression, they're slowing it down, they're going to make it more grindy. I've had numerous people tell me that they've seen this be fact, and I know for a fact that it is not. You can go to my YouTube, and I've got a video where I do 2 races that I set up in Forza 6 and 7 right after each other. Identical.
I saw that great video.
Thank you. Identical 3-lap races at Lime Rock with Pro Drivatars, and I use mods in both. Of course, I got the VIP 100% extra in 6, and I didn't even use my VIP mod in 7, right? And the end result was I made $500 less in 7, which is really nothing in Forza money.
Right.
I get, with the tier 11, I'm getting $500,000 every time I do a reward. So the 500, and the thing about that too is that's keeping in mind that in my Forza 6 races, I was using rare and high-end mods I've had for a while. In the Forza 7 race, I'm using just mods fresh out of the box, common stuff, and I came up 500 short. So I'm sure I could have tweaked that with the mods. I'm sure I could have gotten more money for the same race. And I've looked at it myself and checked out other people's analysis. The cars overall don't cost as much. There's a couple variations here and there where a car has gone up, but overall it's cheaper for all of the cars. So the idea that they're adding grind to it is just wrong, and I see it everywhere, and it's been driving me absolutely insane over the past 3 days, just trying to stem some of the tide of bullshit.
Forza's always been a fucking grind, though. I'm telling you, even that Forza
racing
3
games
one of the
they're
things that
out.
put me off from playing Forza 4, because it were not long since I had about 100 hours in fucking Forza 3, and I was pretty much worn out from it.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's it's gratifying. It's
Man, remember doing the endurance races in Gran Turismo?
Yeah. I even saw some argument about, you can't, they kind of making it linear and you can't buy any car you want. And I'm okay with that.
Well, and here's
in a way, right? I mean, I haven't gotten far into it, so
it's a bit bullshit that them cars are in tiers and you've got to get to level 5 to buy the best cars in game. But
you're not going to have enough credits to buy any of those cars until you got to
you could
work your way to that.
But by the time you have enough credits, you've raced enough to have enough credits, those tiers will be unlocked.
Yeah, but I'm sure I could buy a decent one of them tier 5 cars at minute, but I won't be able to because I'm on a car tier 2 or something. So
I think I was at tier 6 by the end of my second cup.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's not got to take long. Like I said, I'm already 2 and about halfway to the next one or something.
But I like the way the campaign is. It kind of keeps you focused. Gives you
all my money's getting saved till I get all cars unlocked, and then I'll see what there is to buy.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm sure once the auction opens up, you'll be able to use those, multiplayer too, right? I mean,
yeah, the multiplayer you can rent cars.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can pretty much race whatever you want.
Private lobbies are really the way to go. Right now, where I work is in the middle of a billing system conversion, so they've tightened up on the OT, and I have 4 days off in the month of October. So once I get through this stuff, though, I want to set up an NLG Forza night, and we'll just have it'll work kind of like the private thing I described. We can set up, do some gentlemen's racing. Well, a little effery is okay as long as everyone's. I don't want to see anybody going backwards in my races, but you know what I mean.
Do something after this if you.
Unfortunately, I've got too much else to do tonight. But keep your ear to the ground. I'm gonna when I'm ready to put together, I'll definitely do that. I did want to hit upon real quick that a breakdown of the thing for people who don't know, for anyone who's still just hearing what the internet is saying about these loot crates and progression in the game, because all the time I'm told they took away your ability to get a bonus for your assists, and people think that's a big loss on top of the not doubling, right?
It's kind of a point, but you can just bang difficulty up and get your extra credits that way.
Well, you can. You get that the Drivatar difficulty increase is larger than it used to be. In the video that I did, you'll see that it's
time, isn't it? It's like, because I would just on the standard one that it starts you off, which is third highest, and you don't get any. And then I only just realised earlier, and now I've bumped it up 2 difficulties, and I'm getting like 40%. And there's like another 3 difficulties to go, which same an extra 20% each time.
Right. At the pro level, which is the only one I really know because that's what I usually run, it was 40% in 6 and it's 80% in 7. All right. For all of the assists, like your driving line and your ABS and your stability control, all those combined for a 73% boost in Forza 6 to your credits. But none of them do anything for your credits in 7. And people have asked...
In my book, I'm telling you, most I would get in extra in any other Forza Horizons is about 40-45%.
Right, yeah, getting 73 is doing pretty good because that's turning off everything but
I'm pretty comfortable. Yeah, I think for most races I could easily turn it up a difficulty and get like 60%. And that's more than I've ever got in any Forza game before. So I'm happy with it.
Well, with that then, you don't get the bonuses in 7, and people will say, why would I do it? And the reason you do it is because skilled players are faster without assists. And if you've done the rivals count like we were talking about, you'll know that the people who aren't running ABS are going faster. So there's a reason to do it without getting the benefit. And then you go into your mods and you pull out the one, like I have one that for having the line off and not going off the course for a lap, I get 80% bonus that race. So that one mod is worth more than all of the benefits from Forza 6 that were removed. Right? So the whole concept that they're, making it worse by moving they're not. It's improved.
Yeah.
But people don't
but you can make some
look at it.
It's just at a minute, I got them 6 free boxes for getting to, I think, driver tier 1.
Right.
Or whatever, and I haven't even used any yet, but there's some I'm thinking of using, the XP ones, because the XP ones are just like plus 500, plus 1,000 or whatever out there.
The double ups, yeah.
Whereas the money ones I'm thinking of saving till like later races where you got to get more money.
True.
And then use them.
And anyone that you don't use, like there's one, I can't remember what it is. I don't know. Maybe it was like finish 5th or whatever. Right. I sell those back.
Yeah.
You can sell them back.
1,000 credits or something, right?
Right. And so, you can, so we'll see if it remains when the money part is turned on.
Loot box thing.
I'm sorry?
I don't really mind that loot box thing. It's not something I'm really got to be bothering with that much. Especially not a minute. It's, like I said, wait till I get to races that I got to pay more, and then I may use them.
That makes perfect sense.
For achievements and whatever else that I need to, and then I don't know, just use what I get free. But main part, I'm a tight ass with my money in these games.
Yeah, that's the way I am too. So,
see, in 6, I've got untold piles of millions. I wish I had something to spend on. I think it's great that they're giving us something to do with it. I think it's great that they're giving us the management of your funds versus getting the next car or whatever. It's like I said, most of the people who are very upset about the fact that there's a loot box in this kind of game, they don't understand the effect that it hasn't had on the economy. They're all being mad because the internet told them to. And I just want to get that word out there that, you know, if you think that the game has been wrecked by these microtransactions, it hasn't. And I will say yet, because they haven't put the cash in it yet. They're not. But if it stays the same when you can use cash, then it's going to be just fine, right? But if they change it after put the cash in, then I'll be mad, right? But they'll give it the option to turn the cash off either way,
right?
So, I don't expect them to F the dog on it. I think it's going to be just as balanced as it is now. You're just going to have the option if you don't want to do the grind. Me, I love the grind, so bring it on.
Yeah, I've got no issue with grind as well.
No, I guess we don't know.
Out there want to fucking pay money for it, same as shark cards, isn't it? End of the day.
Yeah, because the cash is going to be called coins, right? It's always been coins, right? In the past.
Yeah, tokens.
Tokens, that's right. Yeah. So and you can use those to buy cars.
I've used them because they used to gift them with VIP.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But that's the only time I've used them. And then, they even the idea that people just assume they did wrong. The worst thing they did was not communicate the VIP change. Aside from that, I have no problem at all with what they did. And people assume that they are, that it's a repeat of Forza 5. It's not. They learned. This is why they pulled the token requirements and the DLC purchase requirements out of the tiering system for the rewards and gifted all that points to anyone who hadn't gotten them yet. They do know if you're on the fence about this game. I've seen a lot of that. I don't know. I was excited about this game, but then I heard it has microtrans. Get the fucking game.
Yeah, I think people are really being misinformed on that.
Thankfully, I've never been a fucking Ultimate Edition guy, and I probably never will.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I know I'm going to want to get all the stuff they let me get. And I know they're probably going to have DLC that isn't included. And I've just
never been interested in the VIP and the extra credits and just the car packs. I'd rather
I like the car packs.
Like, say, do the Ultimate Edition and you get the season pass for all the expansions.
Yeah, the VIP, a lot of people forget too, the additional Rivals events and race events that happen on a monthly basis. So, down the road when you've done all the Rivals and and you're looking for something new, the next month rolls over and there's new stuff for the VIP guys. So that right there is actually a greater value to it than the cash benefit for me than the credits. But I understand I know I'm in the minority with that. I know those are not as valued.
I'll lose interest over time. That's why I'm not interested in car packs and that lot. I never have been. So I don't mind. I'll just buy a standard edition and at a later date I'll get expansion passes.
I want all the cars.
I do too. I love collecting the cars too. Especially when they look so. Doing the little pan around the cars looks so amazing. I can't wait to see this game on the X.
Oh man, it's gonna melt my face.
Oh man,
and that's what I was telling earlier when I was playing. I just started playing today, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" And I had Witty was on with me, and the freaking I think was it the race with the Porsche, the freaking the mountains that I think they use the I guess they use that same photo realism technique that EA did with Battlefront, right?
Well, I'll tell you, the terrain in that Divide track looks amazing.
It does. It's like, holy shit.
Sand blowing across the track.
Yeah, and then and the cars, everything just looks. Like I said, I skipped 5 and 6. So when I started this one, I was like, holy shit. You definitely can tell the difference. And I know you guys who played 6 saw the difference also. And I'm just on a 1080p. So, I can imagine the 4K.
5 and 6, I've only played it down on my mates. I haven't even gone through alt menu system and all like that. So, can't really comment about any of that.
But I do like the layout. I like the way the campaign looks. Yeah, definitely much improved. There's no reason for people out there to, if they're on the fence, they need to do a little bit more research.
People keep to wait till November 7th because I'm calling it now, right? Forza 7, the pre-launch exclusive, will finally become a full game, and all these different modes will unlock Auction House and God knows whatever, November 7th.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna have something special planned for sure.
Another thing I like about the new one, just one of those little quality of life changes, is now in career mode you don't have to leave the race venue. You don't have to go through loading the whole thing up again to change your car or change parts.
Yeah, that is nice.
That's big.
Oh yeah, that's something I like.
Yeah.
It's even in demo, it's something I like, where you can go throughout difficulty settings and this and other world tracks loading. You're not having to wait till it's loaded. And then
I like the new requirements too. I like that the way that they've set up the requirements for the race.
You mean the homologation?
Yeah. Tire width and doing so not everybody's just driving the same car, or all-wheel drive, and kind of you get into multiplayer and everybody's just got the same car, maxed out, whatever. This one kind of forces you to fine-tune things a little more, and maybe think about using a different car and different settings. And
I love it. It does away with the class breaking type build where you take the beater Civic and you put no rubber on it and you cram 1,500 horsepower in it. And it doesn't matter that you can't turn or brake because you're going to out accelerate everyone to the first turn and then rocket to the next one. I get it. It's what it was but I love it. And even versus the AI, it makes it a more exciting race. I've had the best races versus this in the single player mode that I've had in any Forza. Just the most tense, most door to door for like 3 corners. Love it.
Also, people need to remember also to go to their, get the Forza Hub app on their Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right in game. Yeah, you can go right from the game.
Get all those credits.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got 175,000 credits. Big, nice.
Yep, it's nice, $500,000 every week for me.
Nice.
Just because I've done I put in all the hours to other games.
Yeah.
So did you guys have the Hoonigan pack also? Did that open up? Yeah.
Yep. Got the Hoonigan pack.
All those cars are sick as.
Supposedly about that as well. The Forza Horizon 3 one you get. Supposedly the cars are just on your account. You don't have to wait for a message or something.
Yeah, the Hoonigan cars were in my track or in my garage like immediately. They were ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Fast and Furious cars too. I don't know where that came from, but
oh yeah, the new one, like the Ice Charger and such.
Yeah, I don't know if that was part of the VIP or what that was. I had those from there.
I want to say that was part of the VIP, part of the what do they call it? The Ultimate Edition or whatever. I wanted the Ultimate Edition for the early access too, to be honest.
Yeah, and that was like I said, I only paid $40. Amazon, I don't know if it was a pricing error. HTK got it for $60 because he got the digital, but I got it for $40 because I got the physical, and it's in a nice collectible steelbook and everything. But so the only problem with that was that I had to wait for the post on Friday. Even though I did get the early access, I had to wait for the mailman to bring me my physical copy,
right?
Which was a little frustrating because I had the day off, and I was just like, I'm standing at the door, going to keep peeking out the window, going, "Come on!" And he did show up about 10, so I didn't have to wait too long. But then I had 64 gigs to load or whatever. But still, still getting it that that weekend early is it was just great. And like I said, $40. I mean, come on.
Man, I wish I could have got that deal. But again, I should have turned fucking Rusky like Daz.
Yeah.
And I could have got it for I bet I could have got Ultimate Edition for cheaper than what I paid for fucking Standard Edition. But we're a day late at seeing Daz's dodgy Russian dealings.
Yeah, I had also listened to a couple of podcasts, and I will say I've seen a couple of other podcasts, and I think people are being fair about the 7. When they're talking about the loot crates and the mods and stuff like that. They are bringing up that it's not a big deal. There are other games that are doing it, but they don't see a big deal about this. And I kind of wonder how Shadow War, how that's going to work, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal either. So,
well, I've only heard. I haven't looked in great detail at the Shadow of War version of the crate deal, but I hear that late in the game, you have to use the stuff you can get from crates to get through it in good order or get the best ending. Even I don't know how accurate that is, but
well, no. In Shadow of War, though, you can get loot from fighting enemies.
Just grinding.
You kill bosses, they drop loot now, so you can get the same loot that you can buy in the loot crates. You can get from playing the game, and it's fun. I mean, that's one of the best parts of the game is the combat.
Right.
So you're actually having fun getting the loot as opposed to just, paying money, opening loot crates. I mean, why take some of the fun out of the game just to blow it with,
Exactly.
A lot of that stuff is cosmetic anyway. And once you do get some of that loot, then I guess like each one has like a challenge to it that unlocks that special skill for whatever that, new weapon or new skill or whatever. You have the challenge to upgrade that. And I think their loot system, you can, and it's got the same option there. You can just turn that off. You can turn all of this stuff off about the loot crates in the Shadow War, so you don't. I mean, it's not even going to be an issue because I'm not. But I was just watching a thing today. You can, all that stuff is all in game. It's everything that you can get from purchasing the loot crates is all in game. So and it's just coming down to beating bosses and having them drop loot. And that's what the game's all about. So basically, you have to play the game.
Right?
Nothing wrong with that. I don't understand what people are freaking out about that. I mean, there is the one you can get the followers. I guess there is one where you can, pay to get orc followers or something like that. Which, whatever. Play the game. Have fun. That game looks amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think I even listened to the No, which is with Rooster Teeth, and I listened to that, and I thought, I don't think those guys actually really looked into the game and even try to play it to understand.
This is what I found to be the case with most everyone who really came down on the Forza thing. They almost all of them had it wrong. Like Jim Sterling's Jimquisition, who I generally at least have gotten along with pretty decently in the past. He was just wrong. He was like, he had said on his video for all of his followers to then further be wrong about that you couldn't adjust the difficulty of the game without using the loot crates, or you couldn't make it a night race without using the night race card.
I've heard that. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And it's just that he just doesn't know, and they're all doing it because it's the hot thing to talk about. It's the hot thing to get your video some clicks.
Yeah.
So they're all talking about it, and none of them know what the F they're talking about.
Yeah.
It just drives me right up a wall. That's why, and I wish I had taken a little more time to go more in depth with the video I did, but that's why I try to get it out fast, because no one else was digging in and looking. I think there was one Fail Race, who has a YouTube channel that's a lot about racing. He did some pretty deep digging with it as well, but that's all I saw. Everyone else is just going off of whatever Ars Technica put out.
Yeah.
Game's fantastic. Who cares?
It really is.
I never really used the cards or any of that stuff, the mods in 6 or any of the, it's never really been a thing to me. And like you say, in this one, I mean, we got all those crates to begin with, and half the mods, I mean, some of them I had like 9 of the same one or whatever, which, like you say, I just sold back. I think I sold, 8 of them and got, a bunch of credits, $2,000 a pop. I got a bunch of credits off of that, and then. And they're pretty generous. I mean, you had the double down. I think I had 3 or 4 of those double downs, which, gives you double the experience, double, 500 experience more, plus on the double on the credits or something. And I mean, 2 or 3 mods and you can get, 100% bonus pretty easily on those things. And like, and like you were saying, some of the stuff like turning the drive line off, or, driving without the HUD or whatever. I mean, some of this stuff you do anyway.
Right.
You're getting a bonus for doing, turning off ABS or whatever. I mean, that's stuff you do anyway. So it's like, cool. All right. I get a bonus for doing something I was doing anyway. So cool. Thank you. And
as much as people want to rage about it right now, there's a reason these things have done so well with Overwatch and all that. And it's because people, no one will admit it today because of all the talk about it and how it's all bad. But people do like the opening up and seeing what they get. Just turning over the card. What do I get? What do I get?
I mean, it's been
like that.
games on people's mobile phones for a long time, and people are buying that shit out of that stuff.
Right.
So, you know, there's no reason to complain about it in these games. And plus, at the same time, I don't see it as they're trying to rip us off or whatever. I think they're adding, you know, hey, look, if you want this, you want more, you want to get ahead a little bit quicker, here you go. You pay for it. And it helps the devs to kind of put more money in their pockets, and it goes towards the next game, you know. So, or
in the case of rep packs for Halo, people got maps because the rep packs here. So you know, who knows? Maybe this works out awesome, and Turn 10 decides, hey, you know that next expansion, we're just going to put it out.
Right.
I mean, who knows? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a possibility.
So, what do you think about the gear stuff?
Oh, the clothing?
Yeah.
You know, lines about that. I'll try to be quick. First, meh. You know, like
exactly.
I mean, I don't mind seeing that. I think it's kind of cool if you get a podium. And I haven't been online, so I don't know if the podiums are seen online. So, like when you win, they see you.
Oh,
yeah, all right.
The top 3, yeah.
So that's cool. You know,
I kept beating fucking Coop yesterday. Until
nice.
Well, I didn't even finish, and I wasn't even on the podium.
I was going to say there was one podium you weren't even up there. What are you talking about?
32nd time, and well, I was just fucked. Every time I changed into second in like manual, it just kept shooting me off like to right and into a wall, and then you hit a wall and you spin out, and then because you're facing wall and you're in manual, you've got to go right down to reverse and then accelerate. And
that was that unicorn or whatever. That car is tough to drive. That's a twitchy one.
Yeah, that was a piece of shit. I'm never driving in the unicorn.
Well, the other part of that equation though is, even though I'm kind of mad on them, I think it's not a bad not a bad ad. Like, it's something we haven't had, something different. But what I did get excited about, and I know it's geeky, but I got my Forza Motorsport, like the OG suit on for my tier 11.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that is cool. Yeah,
that and not everyone's walking around like that. So, you know, I dig that. And the Forza 2 suit looks amazing.
Yeah, I got a few of those too. That was kind of cool. And so, you know, that to me, that's the one kind of, I mean, they had to put something in the loot crates. They had to, you know, I would have been pissed if they would have hid like some of the, you know, I love the customization. I'm not very good at it, but some people, I mean, you've got some of your designs. And, Xbot 448, man, the guy he does some amazing creator. You know, some of the creations, some of these people do. And I mean, I've seen people that just play to do designs, you know, just
Absolutely.
Get fully in, and I love that. And I would be pissed if they took a feature like that and hid it in the loot crate. You're hid it behind the paywall sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like they're doing with the gear stuff, like where you got to unlock it, you got to, you know, and I'm glad that they went to the way of doing the gear, because like you say, it's mad.
Yeah, it's just cosmetic. It's
cosmetic. And that was my fear, is that they were going to do something about, you know, having to pay for having to, you know, to get certain decals or certain,
like a one-use decal, like the shaders or whatever in Destiny.
That would have.
I would not have approved of that. That definitely, I would not stick up for that in the same way that I think people say I'm defending microtransactions in full price games. I'm not exactly doing that, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to put your foot down, don't put it down on the people who are doing it the best.
Yeah,
put your foot down on people who are doing it abusively. And this is, you know, it kind of kills me, because the game is so fantastic. It's visually amazing. It plays amazing. The sound's amazing. What are people talking about? The crates.
I know.
It's just.
Now, I guess on the forum, I guess I'm sure people spoke up there, right? I'm sure as far as about the VIP.
Oh yeah,
and that's probably Turn 10 is pretty good about, they monitor the forums.
Oh yeah,
I know they monitor Twitter and all that. So, you know, a combination of all that. You know, I'm glad that they turn things around and kind of change that up.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad they showed a quick response. I'm glad that they're in tune. And, you know, if people being uninformed and going off because the internet told them to means I get an extra $1 million, I guess I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But you know, people need to. You know, people who have complaints. They can't just do it on Twitter all the time. I recommend people go to the forum. You know, sign up, and there are areas there that you can, you know, put your voice on there.
Just look how many free credits you can get a fucking week though for doing nothing apart from launching FORZA up. It's like, you know,
Gravatar,
175,000 or something, and I'm on like level 7, which is probably fuck all compared to you one. You know, especially since I'm missing most of FORZA Motorsport games. If you ever get through them, I'd be on the right level.
Well, like you guys were saying, sorry.
Like over 50% at way to getting one of them 300,000 loot packs where you can get a legendary car.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, you're not guaranteed a legendary car.
No.
Are you not? I thought you were guaranteed a legendary car.
There is one where you're guaranteed a car though.
Yeah, I did. I bought one.
I think it says
I didn't get a legendary. No, you're not. You have a chance.
If you don't get one.
No, I didn't. I got some piece of shit holding. Yeah, you're not guaranteed a legendary.
Yeah, just like Destiny with those Ingrams, you know. Hey.
I know.
Not worth fucking buying then. But
I wouldn't. I spent $300. I bought the legendary one, and I got shit. I got a Holden.
Well, I mean, if you got the extra money in the game, you're just sitting there. It doesn't hurt anything to, you know, try one and see what happens.
You're probably best just saving up your money and buying the car you really want.
But there are some cars you can't buy, right? Aren't there some that you can't, like the legendaries?
The Horizon, not Horizon, but the Forza Edition cars, you can't get them in the store.
Yeah, and that's how it was in Horizon 3 also, right?
They were only when it started, they were only wheel spin available, but then when they added the Forza-thon, they started rolling some of those in.
Yeah.
I never got the Countach. I've always wanted the Horizon Countach and never got it.
Yeah, I don't know if I got that one either.
You getting a guaranteed Forza Edition car every week. Just about.
So you can sell these mods also, like you were saying, Coop, right? You have extra mods, you can sell them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're like 2,000 credits a pop.
Huh. Also, can you sell the cars? How is selling the cars in this one compared to the past? Because you know how in the past when you sold a car, you really didn't get shit for them.
Haven't tried.
Haven't tried either. The auction house still hasn't opened.
Yeah,
there's still a lot of that stuff is limited right now. They haven't.
And you'll be able to get Forza cars there.
Yeah. At a cost.
Right.
What was that, Witty? There was a Forza-thon car that I wanted. It was the Pacer. Remember they had the Bubbleback Pacer X or something? It was like, I went on and I missed that Forza-thon weekend. That was the only time that you could get it was through that Forza-thon. And just a silly car. Just, you know, I'm like you one. I just collector. I love having all the cars. And so that was like one of the Forza editions that I didn't have. So I would go on to the auction house. It was like 9 million credits.
I had one. He would try to offer me $1 million.
I know. It's right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. No luck.
Man, even though I've ended up with about 14.5 million in Horizon. God knows what I'll ever do with that. Probably nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get out of here, I definitely, like we all said, this game is definitely worth picking up. You know, if you like racing games, and you have friends to jump in there with, it's the campaign is cool. It's challenging, and people shouldn't be afraid. You know, you're gonna have to work. Unlock mods, get credits, and yeah, you get rewarded. Nope. You know,
don't matter, even if you're playing on easy, it's still got to take you.
I know. Yeah.
One was like 6 different main championship things, but each one's got like loads of events. So
yeah.
Looking at probably 50 hours just to go through it normally.
Yeah, no, and I like how it forces you to do different classes, to do different types of vehicles, and like Forza Horizon 3, you could customize each championship just to the car you wanted.
Yeah,
right.
You know, you could do it. You could create your own blueprint for every championship, and just
you could theoretically do that game on one car.
You could.
Yeah.
I've done most of that game with one car.
It's not a bad way to go. I mean, it's not a terrible option because then you drive the one you like. But
right.
But you're missing out on driving these other vehicles.
True.
You know, you wouldn't even get the experience. You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, but the way they did it as well, you could change the laps to just like one lap, and
right.
I'm telling you, could
Yeah, true.
Forza Horizon 3 in no time whatsoever. You know, whereas other games like I don't think one were that long, but two, both versions of that I've played on 360 and Xbox One. They both took me like 100+ hours, if not longer.
Yeah, sounds right.
So now that 7 is out, and you know, we're kind of getting into it and see what's there and what's not. What are y'all's expectations going forward as far as for 8?
Well, even before we get to 8, I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do with the
DLC stuff.
DLCs, because you know, I love that Maple Valley's back so much. You know, I love that track.
I do too. That's one of my favorites.
And so, and there are other tracks that people have called for. Like, people have been calling for Maple Valley for a long time. People have been calling for Fuji Kaido a long time.
That would be cool.
How sweet would that DLC be?
Oh yeah, love that.
Bring me that.
Drifting around there.
Yep. So I mean, I'm excited to see what they're going to go.
Free, right? Tracks have always been free DLCs, right?
Well,
NASCAR had. There was
NASCAR came with what, the VIR?
Yeah, well, there was more than one, wasn't there? Wasn't Daytona?
Or did VIR come with the Porsche? And Homestead came with NASCAR.
Yeah, maybe it was Homestead. I know it was one of the NASCAR tracks, at least one of them. Because we were trying the multiplayer, and so, who was it couldn't do? I was playing 6 because I had the NASCAR pack. They did, and there was a couple of tracks that they couldn't do. I thought was kind of
the one thing they carried over too from those expansions I like is the near car indicator.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like the virtual spotter.
Yeah.
That's something I'll never forget. Was I had a real life experience to drive a NASCAR, and I took a NASCAR Cup car around the Michigan International Speedway. It's a 2-mile oval, and I had a spotter, and so it's just you in the car, and then you got the dude in your ear, and you know, he clears you for when you can make a pass or lets you know when one of the, because you're on the course at the same time that the pro drivers are out there giving rides. Nice. So I've got the thing buried, and I'm on the governor at 160 on the front stretch, and a pro goes by me at like 195. Yeah. And it was something. But yeah, no, it was one of those things I highly recommend if you're into driving and you get a chance to do that, just like the Lamborghini thing I did.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that video.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
We'd love to do that one day. Yeah.
Yeah, I just take some proper expansions rather than just car pack expansions.
Yeah.
Well, I think last time out with the Porsche and the NASCAR, I thought they did a really good job.
God knows, I didn't play it. But I played the FORZA.
I like the NASCAR. I like the NASCAR one.
You know, I just thought it would have pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Just racing this car and here's an achievement. You know, and it's like, no, fuck that. Give me something like Storm Island. Obviously, not got to do Storm Island in Forza, but, you know, give me some...
Like they could this year.
Give me Cardo or something like that. I know my mate would like that and could drift around there.
Yeah, no, I thought that the campaign for, say, the Porsche one, it did a pretty good job of going through the history of Porsche and like doing a deep dive on Porsche.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, there would have been. And that is something that I would like to see is some more of the, you know, like we said, we were talking about the horns and the license plates, but even some of the multiplayer. I love doing, you know, if you could do some of these Cup Series co-op. You know, like you know, Woody and I were racing, you know, doing the multiplayer yesterday, and there's no real. I mean, you know, you do get credits, you do, you know, skill up and whatnot, but there's no real progression in the game. I would love to be able to do the Cup Series, you know, with your friends, even if you could have four like in Horizon, where you can team up and do the co-op campaign. Why not?
That's what you're talking about. Yeah, co-op campaign for Forza, for Motorsport.
Yeah, and do a co-op cup series. You know, the cup series in the game that you're driving in those specific car classes.
You'd have to share points.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're on a team. You have a team. You know, you have teams or whatever. Your team has to do good, and even if it was something. I mean, you're not going to win every race, obviously, racing against your friends. But even if it was just, like you say, a team points, or even if it just went towards your cup point series, and I don't know. I just wish that there was some more to the multiplayer. Some sort of co-op implementation into that.
Penalty, did they, in Forza Horizon 3? You could do it all co-op, and it didn't matter if you won race or not. You still got class for doing it, so it went towards your progression for completing that championship.
Yeah.
It did.
Didn't they have that before? Was it in 4 or 5 where you had the clubs? And so if you raced with your club, with other clubs, you got points, right?
Yeah, the 4 had the best social features.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
4 was a great game.
Yeah, I didn't care for the campaign as much, but the social part was cool. So if they, how like you have to unlock, you have to be in certain tiers, right? To be able to purchase certain cars, right?
Yes.
That tier. So I guess if they give out these car packs, I'm sure they're going to have different tiers in these car packs. I guess it'll be on your deal, and as soon as you get to that tier, you'll be able to unlock that car, right?
Well, if you go to your car list, you see even in the Fast and Furious cars or whatever you've gotten, they'll be in tiers that are above you, but you still unlock
you won't be able to use them until.
No, you can use them. I mean, free play or something like that.
Oh yeah, free play, but not in the campaign. But of course, multiplayer you can use.
Well, the campaigns they're more specific car classes anyway. So a lot of those cars, those are specialty cars, basically for like a free player or multiplayer kind of thing.
Yep, you can't run the ice charger in the hot hatch challenge. Just knock them out of the way.
Yeah.
running the race trucks in like the subcompact divisions.
So when do y'all think we're going to get a DLC? You gonna get one here in the holidays? Right around after the X?
It could be. It feels soon to me, but
yeah, I was thinking more spring.
Yeah,
but maybe.
They do, what first one? Not Storm Island. Fucking Blizzard Mountain. Didn't they do Blizzard Mountain before Christmas last year? I think.
I think so. And then spring was the Hot Wheels.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
There could be one coming up soon.
Could be. I'm sure they got something. I'm sure they've had it in the works. So I haven't heard any announcements, but
bound to not get a Porsche one anyway, because they're already signed up to the main game, aren't they?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
What other manufacturers are missing from the game?
Toyota.
You might get one of them.
Definitely glad we were able to get you here, Juan, so we can get more in depth in the Forza 7, and then spread the word that this is a great game, and people that can't be listening to certain outlets that are making it seem like this game is not worth it, that it's just nothing but built on loot crate, pay to win, and so I'm glad that we were able to kind of expand on that.
In-game credits to get a loot pack if you want to. Leave it end of the day.
I think people just need to
racing around the track and getting credits for not wasting your money on them.
Yeah, you get cars, you get credits as you progress.
I know.
You get a choice every level, and you're best taking that discounted car every time.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, I've gotten some legendaries. Actually, that's where I spend all my credits on too. Is that sometimes you get a legendary that, say it's knocked 150,000 credits off or whatever, is still 200,000. So I still, you're
like, what's behind the door?
Yeah,
let's make a deal. Do you take the 40 grand? Or do you take the 100 grand discount on the car?
Do discount on the car every day.
I've yet to take.
I'm definitely looking forward to
even if it's some
jumping in.
It all goes to that that stat for owning 700 cars.
Yep.
I'm just hoping you can. I was going to Coop this last night. I was hoping you can buy the same car over and over again.
Yeah.
To get credit to that 700 cars. Buy some fucking Volkswagen Polo for about $5,000 a time.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to jump full in on this and, you know, get the experience. You know, other people out there, they need to do the same thing. You know, don't listen to these other people. These other people need to just shut the hell up and just play the game. Play the game. You know, you're going to grind a little bit, you know, and you're going to be rewarded. You know, others people just talk shit too much, not play.
It's hard to call it a grind when it's so much fun.
That's true too.
Yeah, if you enjoy
I'm
racing,
lengthening.
Yeah.
I'm making races longer on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to point that out there. Yeah. And listen, you know, it's like this. I think Forza fans I think there were some Forza fans who had some legitimate beefs. Yeah. I think they got a lot of help from people who never touched the Forza game online. Yeah. You know, what I hear repeatedly is it's built around microtransactions. I'm going to say no, or if it is, it's done intelligently, so it's not hurting the progression. It's the number one thing to say. Two was, you know, it's pay to win. No, wrong, false, done. That's all there is to it. It's just false.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game. Go get it.
Yep.
I feel like playing it.
I do too. I'm going to play it.
I'm going to play right now. So I'm actually on the lap. I just finished a lap, but and I even picked up one of your martini for the 69 fatback.
Oh, nice! Yeah, I got to get on those.
Extra 200 credits for Juan.
Yeah, you get that 50K achievement.
Right.
So definitely, I look forward to when you set up that the private race with the NLG guys. I definitely look forward to that. That's gonna be fun. And,
yeah, I don't know if it'll be in October, but it's shortly thereafter if it's not.
So before we head out, Juan, you want to go ahead and plug NLG and a little bit about yourself? You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much about me. I definitely recommend your Retro Rec. People need to go to your YouTube page and check out your Retro Rec and NLG. Yeah, my boys over at the original Next Level Gaming Podcast. We're on Sundays at 9. The way I like to say it is we talk about games and gaming and not gamers, which is something that I think happens a little too much on YouTube. But we're multi-platform. Obviously, I'm an Xbox guy. Love my Switch too. So we love our chat. We love an active chat. Come on in, talk to us. We respond. And every week I do a bit on a retro game. I have 16 retro consoles. So I pick a game and I do a brief, show some video and run through kind of the history, some of the development information on the game because I love retro gaming, and it's always on OG hardware.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
And I've done maybe 20 of them now. So every week we do one, and there's also I'm not doing a great job of keeping up with it, but I'm also kind of archiving them by going back to the video and dubbing over the live notes that I have on the show, so they can, if you miss one, you can go back and catch them. I think we just put up the Nintendo game North and South today or yesterday. Other than that, you can find me on live, Twitter. I have a YouTube channel. I don't do a lot for it, except for when I get something special, and that goes on my channel. But
you stream from time to time too, right? I guess
occasionally.
For a while, but...
Yeah, like sometimes I'll get a wild hair, like when the passenger missions came out for Elite Dangerous, and I flew for 2 weeks, like 2 real weeks, several hours, like 2 or 3 hours a night for 2 weeks to get out to this black hole and see what a black hole is like in the game and kind of fly around it and such. And so I once I got within the last couple jumps, I streamed that so I could have it on posterity's sake. But yeah, come by the show, and again, thanks for having me on. Today to talk about Forza, because it was important to me to get the information out there. A lot of people are just going off what the internet's saying and without touching it, and it's just such a mistake because it's so great.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it, and I respect your passion for Forza and all the other games too. You're a hell of a gamer, and I like some of the stuff that you put out. So I definitely look forward to more.
Go check out that Lambo video.
Yeah.
The guy's reaction is the best part of that video.
He really does make it.
Yeah.
It is so
We made it
too,
because
He was so hyped. He's like, yeah. I mean, the guy was so hyped. That was just classic, man.
yeah, it was so cheating too, because basically he had been several hours of going around for 2-3 minutes at a time with Joe dude in a car, and then he gets a guy who's done some grassroots racing and he starts out and he's like, okay, so whatever you're comfortable with, and like the next turn he's like, floor it. Coming out of the first turn on the second lap, he says floor it, so I did, and the back end stepping out on me, so I'm counter steering it, and he's like, there it is.
Yeah. That was classic.
It was really good. The company that does that is the Motorsport Lab. You can check them out online. They tour with these cars, so they probably come by an area. And
they did that at the mall. There's a big shopping mall just down the street from my house here, and they had it's huge parking. I mean, the parking lot is just endless. And there's one big section in the back corner, and they had it all flagged off. And I saw them. There was a couple Ferraris and a Lambo out there. And they were out there running. Kind of looked similar, maybe not quite as big of an area, because I didn't, and maybe it was just the drivers, because I didn't see any of those guys getting on it like that. But they were just kind of putting around this little cone course like that. But
right,
it was pretty cool.
I definitely recommend it. Company. My folks got it for me on a Groupon, like half off. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's definitely something I highly recommend. It's just for the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They have that in Vegas where you can go. Actually, I guess they have it out here. We have the Portland International Raceway, and they do an exotic car. It costs a fortune, but you can actually go out there and rent time, and do laps. A bunch of different exotic cars they have. I mean, it'll cost you one day. It costs you a few $1,000, depending on what you're driving.
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't know exactly what they paid for it. Because I think they do it differently by the venue, because some venues are bigger and you can go faster and such. But I think it was a couple $100 for my ride.
Nice.
And it's a memory. I mean, I don't know when the next time I'll be able to be sideways in a $250,000 car. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Hopefully one of these days I can try that. Definitely. Put it on my bucket list.
Leaving well alone. I'll just
just make sure you're not stoned when you do it, Witty. Be right.
Playing red, like, I'll never get in a car with you. It's like, well, it doesn't inspire me with confidence.
Right.
So, Coop and Witty, you guys got anything before we head out?
No, man. Game on.
FORZA 7, right?
I did a little FORZA video earlier.
Yeah.
Lapping, the community challenge. So if anyone wants any pointers, obviously I'm not as good as one over here, but you might learn something from a run.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Hopefully it didn't get flagged like the last one.
No, it's got no in-game music.
Oh, good.
Were you singing yourself or what?
And tonight, I'm hoping to pop the 200,000 game score.
Oh,
nice.
Mixer or whatever.
We can be part of that.
Yes.
And, I've got to do the deed. The dog's probably got to do the dirty deed, and we'll get going.
200,000.
Yeah.
Well, I might not pop it tonight. We'll see what happens. I'm still 30G away.
You can do it.
End of the day, it's motto, who fucking cares? Just a game.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah, and want to thank everybody that showed up in chat. The dude, Siberia, Sopsky, J Street, Reprobate was here. Who else am I missing? Of course, our best moderator, UK Dazarus, said, Crazy One, we might have to put in the Mike's ear, maybe you can recruit Dazarus for the... Of course, the podcast is kind of late for him, but... You know, you never know. He might add another one in. He can keep barrel roll out of the podcast. So
yeah, barrel roll was pestering Brap last night. Enrique's podcast last night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, it was weird.
So definitely, yeah. Thank you, everybody. You know, give us a listen, give us a thumbs up, and you know, give us a sub if you like it, and we appreciate everything. And we'll see you on next Thursday.
Peace out.
Yeah, we're out. If I can get out.